Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our podcast. We are really glad you are here with us today. Wherever you are listening from, we hope you feel comfortable and relaxed. Today's episode is called Nightmare Trips. My name is Daniel, and I'm here with Sarah. This episode is about travel, but not the kind of travel that feels easy, exciting, or relaxing. It's about trips that slowly become difficult, stressful, emotional, and sometimes even frightening. When we planned this episode, we wanted to talk honestly. We wanted to talk about moments that many people experience but don't always share. These are trips that don't go according to plan, trips that make you question yourself, trips that stay in your memory for a long time.
Hi everyone, I'm Sarah. When people talk about travel, they often talk about freedom, happiness, and beautiful experiences. They show pictures of smiles and sunny days, but real travel is not always like that. Sometimes travel is uncomfortable. Sometimes it makes you feel tired, scared, lonely, or disappointed. Today, we want to share those kinds of stories, slowly and honestly.
A nightmare trip doesn't mean something terrible has to happen. Sometimes it's not one big problem, but many small problems that slowly become heavy. These problems can affect your emotions, your body, and your thoughts.
Yes, and when you are far from home, everything feels stronger. Small worries become big worries. Simple problems feel difficult. You don't have your usual comfort or routine.
That's why these trips stay with us. They leave emotional marks. Before my nightmare trip, I felt very excited and confident. 3 years ago, I decided to travel alone for the first time. It was not only about visiting a new place. I wanted to prove something to myself. I wanted to know if I could be independent. I wanted to see if I could take care of myself in a different country. I wanted to feel strong and capable. I believed that this trip would help me grow as a person. I planned everything very carefully. I made long lists of things to pack. I checked maps again and again. I read about the city and watched videos. I imagined walking in new streets, smiling at people, and feeling happy and calm. I thought that planning was enough to keep me safe and prepared. I felt sure that nothing could go wrong. I felt ready for adventure.
Many people feel that way before a big trip. They think that if they plan well, everything will be perfect.
Yes, I felt ready, but I did not know what would happen when things went wrong. I did not know that even a small problem could feel very big when you are alone. When I arrived at the airport, it was very late at night. The building was bright with lights, but it felt quiet and empty. I was very tired after many hours of travel. My legs hurt and my eyes were heavy, but I still felt excited. I thought, this is the start of something important. I walked slowly to the luggage area. I stood near the belt and watched the suitcases. The belt moved and I listened to the sound. One by one, bags appeared. People smiled, hugged their luggage and left. I waited, looking at the belt carefully. My suitcase did not come. Time passed slowly. I checked my phone. I looked at the belt again. Still no suitcase. The belt slowed. Then it stopped. The room became quiet. I stared at the empty belt, hoping it would move again, but it did not. My heart started to beat fast. At that moment, panic came to me like a sudden wave. My body felt cold, almost icy, and my hands started shaking without control. My heart was beating so fast I thought it might jump out of my chest. My legs felt heavy, like they were filled with lead, and for a few seconds I could not move at all. My thoughts were loud and racing in my head, 100 ideas and fears all at the same time. What do I do now? What if my suitcase is gone forever? Why is this happening to me? I felt like I lost control of everything. All my careful planning, all the preparation I had done for weeks, suddenly felt useless. The confidence I had felt before the trip evaporated instantly. I felt very small, weak, and completely alone. My mind jumped from one worst-case scenario to another. I imagined being stuck in a foreign city with nothing I needed. I imagined sleeping on a cold floor because I had no clothes. I imagined being embarrassed in front of strangers, asking for help over and over. I could feel the panic spreading in my chest, in my stomach, in my hands. I wanted to cry, to scream, to run away, but I could not. It was like time stopped. The airport around me seemed to move slowly, almost unreal, while my mind was in chaos.
Yes, that moment is very strong. It feels like the ground disappears under you, like nothing is stable anymore.
Exactly. I felt powerless and completely alone. I did not know where to turn. I did not know how to fix the problem. I wanted to call someone, anyone, but I was alone. The fear and confusion pressed on me from every side, and I realized that sometimes life can make you feel small, even when you thought you were ready. After a few minutes, I forced myself to move. I went to the airport staff. I explained my problem slowly, carefully, trying to stay calm, but I had to explain many times. I filled out forms, answered the same questions again and again. I tried to be polite and patient, but I was very tired. My body and mind felt heavy. My voice was weak, and my words felt slow. I felt embarrassed. I did not want to seem helpless, but I was. I realized that being alone meant that I had to handle this situation entirely by myself. There was no one else to take responsibility or help me emotionally. That feeling was very heavy. It made me feel small, almost invisible. I wanted to disappear. Every step I took felt exhausting. Every question I answered drained me a little more. I felt a mix of frustration, sadness, and fear. I realized that independence is not always easy. Being alone can feel very lonely and heavy, especially when problems happen unexpectedly. That first night in the hotel was long and very painful. The room felt cold and strange, the light was harsh, the furniture was strange, and everything felt unfamiliar. I sat on the edge of the bed and looked around slowly, trying to find something comfortable, something familiar, but there was nothing. When I lay down, my mind did not stop. I thought about home. I missed my bed, soft and familiar. I missed the voices of my family and friends. I missed feeling safe and secure. Every small sound in the hotel, creaks in the walls, the hum of the air conditioner, distant traffic, felt louder than it should. Every shadow in the room seemed strange, almost scary. I felt alone in a way I had never felt before. I felt heavy, as if sadness and fear were physical weights pressing on me. I wanted to call someone, to hear a familiar voice, to feel a small comfort, but I could not. The loneliness was full and total.
Yes, loneliness is stronger at night. When there is no one around, the mind notices everything, and fear grows.
Exactly. At night everything feels heavier, every sound is louder, every shadow seems bigger. Fear and sadness feel larger than the day, and being alone makes it even worse.
My nightmare trip started very differently. I was not alone. I travelled with my family to the mountains. We wanted peace, rest and quiet. We wanted time together, just the four of us, away from work, school and all the usual noise. We wanted to laugh together, to eat good food, to walk slowly in the forest and listen to the birds. I imagined mornings full of sunlight, hot coffee and pancakes for breakfast, while the smell of fresh air filled the room. During the long drive, we laughed and talked a lot. We shared stories, silly jokes, and little dreams about the trip. We discussed which trails we wanted to walk, which mountain views we hoped to see, and what kind of food we wanted to eat: warm soup, fresh bread, fruit from the local market. Even small things like noticing a funny road sign or a red leaf falling from a tree made us smile. I felt calm and hopeful. I imagined the fresh mountain air on my face, the quiet mornings, the sunshine warming our skin, the smell of pine trees and wet earth. I believed this trip would be peaceful, calm and enjoyable. I thought it would give us time to relax, laugh together, and leave feeling refreshed. My heart felt light. I felt positive. I told myself, this will be perfect. Everything will be calm. Everything will be beautiful. I imagined us taking photos together, walking slowly on quiet paths, and returning home feeling happy and connected. I could not wait to arrive. I felt full of hope. But when we arrived, everything changed. The sky was dark, heavy with clouds like a thick grey blanket pressing down on the mountains. Rain started to fall, steady and cold. It hit the roof and the ground with a soft but constant sound, like a drum. The air felt wet and uncomfortable. Even the smell of rain mixed with mud made me shiver. I remember stepping out of the car and immediately feeling the wetness soak through my shoes. I hugged my coat tighter around me, hoping for warmth that never came. The hotel did not feel warm or welcoming. Outside, the building looked old and grey. Paint was peeling from the walls, and there was a strange, damp smell of wood and mould. When we entered the lobby, it was quiet and empty. The lights were dim. I had imagined a cosy place with smiling staff, a warm fireplace, maybe soft music playing in the background. Instead, it felt cold and lonely, almost uninviting. Our room was small, dark, and uncomfortable. The furniture was old and stiff. The bed felt hard, and the blankets smelled faintly of mildew. The light from the small window barely reached the corners, leaving shadows that seemed to make the room feel even smaller. I sat on the bed quietly, looking around slowly, trying to find something to like, but I could not. I felt disappointed. I had imagined something bright, calm and peaceful. Instead, I felt trapped in the cold, small room. My heart was heavy. My chest felt tight. I wanted to be happy, to enjoy the mountains, to breathe the fresh air, but instead I felt stuck. I did not speak at first. I just sat there, thinking about what could have been better, feeling the excitement of the trip slowly slip away, like water draining from a cup. I wanted to cry, but I did not. I just sat watching the shadows, listening to the rain hitting the roof, and wishing things were different. I thought, why does it feel like this? Why is everything going wrong? That night I could not sleep at all. The rain was loud on the roof.
drumming in a steady rhythm that I could not ignore. The wind pushed against the building, making it shake just enough to make me feel unsafe. The hotel was old, and every small sound was strange and frightening. The creak of the floorboards, the thump of something moving in another room, little noises I had never noticed before. Every sound seemed larger in the silence of the night. I tried to read a book. I tried to scroll on my phone, but my phone did not work. I had no signal, no connection to the world I knew. I felt completely disconnected. My thoughts began to turn negative. I imagined small problems growing bigger and bigger. I imagined danger where there was none. Fear slowly grew inside me, like a tiny seed becoming a plant that spread through my chest and stomach. I felt trapped, powerless, and very alone. I wanted to talk to someone, anyone. I wanted to feel safe, but I could not. The wind, the rain, and the strange noises became larger than life. I kept thinking, what if something happens? What if something goes wrong? My mind did not stop. The fear felt heavy, and I could not push it away.
Yes, fear grows stronger when we feel trapped and alone. When there is no help nearby, the mind fills the silence with worry. When you are alone, small sounds, small shadows, and small uncertainties become huge. It is easy to imagine danger, and it feels real, even if nothing is really wrong.
The next days were very hard. I walked through beautiful streets filled with shops, restaurants, and old, colorful buildings, but I felt empty inside. I could not enjoy anything. I avoided people, keeping my head down. Every corner, every sound, every movement made me uncomfortable. I wore the same clothes every day because I did not care anymore. I stopped noticing small things, like the smell of fresh bread, the flowers in the street, or the bright colors of signs. I felt invisible, like a shadow walking through the city, but not really part of it.
For my family, the days became tense too. Small arguments happened often. Who was tired, what we would eat, where we would walk. Everyone was stressed and tired. The happiness we had hoped for slowly disappeared. Each day felt heavier than the last. We were all together, but it did not feel warm or comforting anymore. Even small mistakes or small discomforts seemed to grow bigger. The quiet moments we had hoped for did not exist. After a few days, I felt empty inside. I stopped expecting anything good. I wanted to feel calm, to enjoy the mountains, but I could not. I wanted to go home. Every step felt heavy, every sound felt annoying, and every task felt exhausting. I felt tired, not only in my body, but also in my mind. Every small decision, what to eat, what to wear, what to do next, felt like a huge weight.
I felt the same. My energy was gone. My body was tired from walking, carrying my backpack, travelling. But my mind was even more tired. I had no motivation, no happiness, no curiosity left. Every day felt heavy and slow. Even small things like eating breakfast, brushing my teeth, or washing clothes felt like tasks I could not do. The third day was my breaking point. My luggage still had not arrived. I sat alone in the hotel room and stared at the wall. The silence was loud, almost painful. The room felt smaller than ever, the bed harder, the blankets colder. I felt hopeless. I asked myself over and over, why can't I handle this? Why is this happening to me?
I wanted to cry, but I stayed silent. The loneliness, fear, and sadness pressed on me like a heavy weight, sitting on my chest. I could feel it in every part of my body. My mind kept repeating all the problems. No luggage, no comfort, no familiar faces. I felt completely alone, like I could not solve anything, no matter how hard I tried. Then something small happened. A shop owner noticed me. He spoke kindly and slowly, with a calm voice. He did not rush me. He helped me choose clothes, answered all my questions patiently, and smiled in a way that felt real, warm, and human. That small act of kindness was like a light in the dark. For a moment I remembered that even in hard times there is still goodness in the world. Even when everything feels wrong, small moments like this can give hope. Just a little spark, but enough to feel human again.
Yes, small moments like that stay in your memory forever. They remind you that the world can be kind. Even small acts of care can help you feel less alone. It gives you a little courage to face the next day, to try again, to keep going.
For my family, the turning point came on the last night. We were all quiet. We sat in the hotel room together, not speaking at first. The rain was still falling outside, the sound soft but steady. I could hear my parents breathing. My siblings were sitting on the floor, looking tired and sad. Then, suddenly, someone laughed. It was small at first, just a little sound, but it broke the tension in the room. Slowly, we all laughed together. It felt strange at first, because we had been tense for days. But then it felt good. The laughter grew, soft at first and then louder, and it made us remember the fun we had before everything went wrong. After that, we started talking honestly. We spoke about how hard the trip had been. We shared our frustrations, our sadness, and our disappointments. It felt strange, but also relieving. For the first time in days, we felt connected again. The honesty helped us feel close again, like a small warm fire in the cold and rainy night. I realized that even after difficult moments, it is possible to come together and find comfort in each other.
When more luggage finally arrived, I felt a huge relief. I unpacked slowly, touching each item and realizing that the small problem that had made me feel so powerless was now solved. But even with the luggage back, I felt very tired. Not just physically tired, but emotionally and mentally tired. My body needed rest, and my mind needed a break from all the fear and frustration I had felt.
For my family, the trip ended quietly. We left earlier than planned. There was no big celebration or dramatic ending. We simply packed our things, said goodbye to the mountains, and drove home. The mountains were still there, beautiful and quiet, but we did not enjoy them in the way we had hoped. Yet leaving quietly gave us time to think, to breathe, and to let go of the tension that had built up.
When I returned home, I needed time to understand everything that had happened. I thought about the trip again and again. I remembered the fear, the loneliness, the panic, and also the small moments of kindness from strangers. I thought about how helpless I had felt and how much I had learned about myself. I realized that even though the trip had been difficult, it taught me lessons I would not have learned otherwise. I reflected on the moments I felt powerless and how I had survived them. I thought about how I could face challenges in the future with more patience and calm. I understood that even small acts of help, small moments of care, could change how we feel.
I also needed time to process everything. The mountains, the rain, the cold hotel rooms, all of it felt heavy in my memory. But distance helped me see what I had learned. I realized that the trip, even with all its difficulties,
taught me about patience, understanding, and the importance of family. I understood that even when things go wrong, we can still grow, and we can still find small moments of joy and hope.
From my nightmare trip, I learned patience, I learned humility, I learned to accept that some things are out of my control. I learned that fear and frustration are natural when life does not go as planned. But I also learned that moments of kindness, small, unexpected moments, can remind us that the world is not entirely cold or uncaring.
I learned that discomfort can teach strength. Hard moments can make us stronger if we survive them. I learned that patience, honesty, and sharing feelings with family or friends can help us get through difficult experiences. Even when a trip goes badly, there is always something to learn, and there is always hope for better moments ahead.
If you have had a nightmare trip or a difficult experience while travelling, you are not alone. Many people go through moments like this, even if they do not talk about them. Travel can be unpredictable, it can be tiring, frustrating and difficult, but it can also teach us a lot about patience, resilience and ourselves. Sometimes problems feel huge when we are alone. Sometimes fear and sadness feel too strong. But if we survive those moments, we learn something valuable. We learn that we can face difficult situations, that we can find small joys, and that even small acts of kindness can make a big difference.
If you are in a difficult moment now, remember this: it will pass. Fear will fade. You will survive it. You will learn from it. Difficult experiences can make you stronger and wiser. And sometimes, even the smallest positive moment, a smile, a kind word, or a tiny gesture can give you hope to continue. Remember that you are not alone, and that even when things feel heavy, you can get through them.
Thank you for listening to Nightmare Trips. We shared our stories to help you feel understood and less alone. Life sometimes gives us hard moments, and trips do not always go as planned. But even when things go wrong, there are lessons to learn, moments to remember, and small sparks of hope that keep us moving forward.
We hope our stories help you know that hard moments happen to everyone. You are not the only one to feel lost, scared, or tired. Even in difficult times, you can find connection, kindness, and understanding.
Take care of yourself. Be patient and gentle with your mind and your body. Even small steps forward are important.
And we will see you next time, ready for a new journey, with hope, kindness, and the courage to face the unexpected.